Welcome, sisters, to Peaceout Witches, where we trade the hustle for moon cycles, where chaos and clarity are both sacred, and where we believe raising babies and building businesses can be a spiritual practice. We're not here to be polished. We're here to be powerful and real. We're working moms, and we both have ADHD. We homeschool, we burn herbs in the kitchen while also cleaning up glitter. We're here to help you ride April's wild wave of energy with grounding magic and a little humor. So, if you've ever started 5 new projects during nap time and finished none of them, made a vision board next to a pile of clean cloth diapers, or cried into tea while also being a damn powerful healer, coach, leader, or mama, then yeah, you're with one of us.
And April is not easing it. We're talking about full on Aries fire kicking in for this month. The energy is bold, it's fast, it's raw, and it's ready for you to think about a restart. We're talking sacred disruption, rebirth, reclaiming your fire, even if your hair's in a messy bun and you are rehealing some of this, you're reheating the same cup of tea or coffee as I drink for the fourth time. Sometimes I just dump it out in the sink and pour a new cup because that is just how busy I have been. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll walk you through this. I mean, the astrological currents, hello, Aries and Taurus, they are crazy right now. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay because it's going to help propel us forward. And the goddess and archetype energies this month is about awakening to that divine feminine passionate fire, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the subtle healing moon energies, but actually that fire that we all have inside of us. And this powerful full moon in Scorpio, it's going to stir up all your truth and all your passions. So be ready for that. And then we'd like to talk about we'll go through a little tarot this podcast. We'll do a little bit of rituals and new and full moon, something you could do to just kind of honor and bring in the energy in a subtle way for yourself. But we got to keep it real. Like it can't be something that's going to take an hour for you to do because all of us are too busy for all that. So just stick
Mm-hmm.
with us and we'll give you something simple.
Yeah, this episode isn't about doing it all. It's about remembering your magic and in the mess, in the motherhood, and in the middle of it all. So light a candle, fold some laundry, hide in the bathroom with your earbuds if you need to. But let's talk about this April's, what it's really bringing. Because ready or not, witches, she's coming in hot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Aries, Aries, Aries. My mom's an Aries.
Oh, she is. Was I just saying I don't know a lot of Aries? I don't know that energy, but your mom's an Aries. Oh,
Yeah, and
okay.
it's all about fire, action. I mean, we just got over this eclipse, and this alignment is major fire, fire, fire. It's bringing raw energy, it's bringing truth, it's bringing confidence, but it's also bringing a lot of like body things with it. It's bringing those pieces where we're jumping really quickly because Aries energy is such fire, but it's causing our body to really not jump as quickly. And so it's really important to be aligning your actions. This is a month to really think about, like, in your life where you're feeling stagnant. And this month can bring a lot of sacred disruption because it's going to get moving anything in your life that is stagnant. It's going to get moving in the direction that it needs to. So this is really about stepping into that fear and taking that Aries spirit and heading it right on, and bringing in the fire where you need to, releasing the things that need to be released because it's really about Aries helping you break down, fall away, and rush into a divine redirection. It's kind of about that sacred feminine being able to rise through and then calling in the divine masculine to also rise in that sacred rage kind of way, not
Mhm,
in that, in the good fiery way where I'm going to come in through the forest and I'm going to clear out the forest because the fire is good.
mhm. And I just love the idea of the fiery energy because fire is such a catalyst and it's such
Mhm.
a good way to clear away the old and restart the new and what's born from the fire after it's over and the ash that's nurturing the soil and the buds and the seeds that are underneath in the earth and they're coming through that. It's just a beautiful cycle of life, but fire just energy can just kind of get you moving quickly, especially if you're like in imminent danger. You're going to not think You're going to move. And so
Hmm.
that's what the April's big themes are. They're fire and that eclipse energy, and it equals action and alignment. But, you may be taking action based on this sense of needing to just do something. And instead of analyzing it and expecting, that divine wisdom to just say, here, do this, in that subtle, beautiful way that divine wisdom often comes, it's more like pushing you right in the direction you need to go. So the action
Hmm.
comes from the giant push you're going to feel. And that's that theme that we're dealing with, that fire and that energy, and it's about letting go of control. It's about just taking action. I'm just going to keep on packing my house because I know I'm moving. I'm just going to keep on taking those interviews because I know that I'm changing jobs and it's going to happen. It's just about not living day to day like you did before. You are
Hmm.
now a new person this month. Now you have the energy behind you. All these energies are going to help you become that person. So don't think about it too much. Just take action and do.
Yeah,
And then go ahead.
it's it's really igniting that courage and that raw
Yeah.
creativity,
Yeah.
and it's giving you the energy to to begin again. I mean, Jamie and I talked a little bit about that April 1st aspect of being New Year's and spring, and
Mhm.
this aspect of no longer waiting, but really be able to become. I'm no longer waiting, I'm becoming. So it's that annual time for us to really take a sacred rebirth.
Mhm.
But sometimes I think we also feel this energy of like needing to get things done. But like where I'm at, it's stormy. So you can't really do the things that maybe you feel like you're ready to do. So it's kind of like you feel the energy. You're at the starting line and you're like ready to run the race, but you can't quite run yet. That's kind
Mhm.
of how this energy really feels. From the first till about the 16th. The 16th is when we're really going to move more into that releasing, reclaiming, and transforming.
Yeah. And then at that point, we're working in Scorpio. So the Scorpio full moon is absolutely that light of the moon is always working in the shadow and illuminating our shadow pieces. And that Scorpio and Scorpion energy is like black and white, really. It's truth or lies. It's passion or stagnation. It's just like this wild extreme. So, really take a time in the Scorpio full moon to think about what you're ready to release so that you can
Hmm.
become what you want to be next. And it's the perfect timing right now because we are kind of in this new year. I feel like April always is my springtime, is my new year. And
Hmm.
sometimes I think my birthday is too, but my birthday falls in fall and it's more of my cozy introspective winter time. And we have some processes to use during that time that we specifically use in our business and in our academy. But during this time, this is when we go, wow, look at all they did last year. So
Hmm.
awesome. But I'm really ready to become this person this year. And so what do I need to do to release that and to transform myself? And that Scorpio full moon will shed light on those things that you are ready to let go of and release in order for you to step fully into the person you want to be this year. If you allow it, you don't have to take time and journal it out. This is not the energy of taking time and journaling it out. It's more of the energy of, I'm going to do this candle magic for release. And I know that all that I need to know for this month is going to show itself to me. The path will be lit up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then we've got Mercury coming out of retrograde. So
Mhm.
that's going to happen around April 25th. And this is really about speaking to the soul, not the ego. And been having a lot of these conversations about the aspect of what the ego wants and what the soul wants, because the ego, wants to maybe go, 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 or produce, 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 put on many hats, right? Impulsively, like you were saying, Jamie, do things just to do them.
Mhm.
Um, so there's that aspect of the ego that gets to slow down a little bit when Mercury is back in. When Mercury is working with Aries and working with a lot of the different energies, it's really about like speaking where we are speaking over ourselves and
Mhm.
where we need to be understanding that maybe we are too sharp-tongued, or maybe we're too fiery, or maybe the words that we're using, maybe we're not liberated enough, right? Like maybe you're too boxed in, or maybe you're not boxed in enough. And so there's just that aspect of balancing that's going to happen with the soul and the ego. And Mercury coming out of retrograde kind of allows that to come back into alignment. Retrograde's a teacher. Jamie, you love retrograde.
Mhm. I
Why
do
do you
like
like it so
retrograde
much?
because um I don't feel chaotic and I don't
Hmm.
feel out of touch with myself. I actually have the opposite. I feel more grounded and more in touch with myself. And I don't know why that is. I think a lot of people I know actually have that experience too.
Hmm.
I just maybe because I'm an introvert. I am. I'm like an intro extrovert. So, us introverts, if you are one, you need that recharge time. You need to, like, when it's time to power down and when communication's going to be weird. And when you just need to take a step back and be quiet. And Mercury in retrograde kind of forces that upon most of us. Communications break down. You're just not being heard or seen or listened to. There's just that sense of that during Mercury in retrograde with relationships, even with work or businesses or anything you're working on. And it's easy for me as an introvert, and I've learned that taking steps back and actually going inward or just being quiet, not even doing the work, just sitting still and not and allowing my body to process whatever it needs to, or reading a book I'm feeling called to, or listening to a podcast I'm feeling called to. That is how I work the energies of Mercury in retrograde. So if you have any kind of wobbly feelings and you're feeling kind of out of sorts during that time, these are the things I suggest you do. Just allow your inner guidance system to take over and don't force anything. Just flow with it.
Yeah. Well, and I have really felt the need to like sleep, to really be in rest. And so that takes a lot of allowing and a lot of understanding that, like the moon, I cycle. And so, where do I need to give forgiveness or grace
Mhm.
for that part of what's going on? Because this is a really heavy, dense energy, but it's a movement that we can really work with to make big changes in our own lives. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
um,
definitely during Mercury in retrograde, you can release. Like, that's a really good time to just say, I'm going to do some work on cutting cords and releasing and letting go with no emotions. Don't get too caught up in the emotional part of it. Just with that sense of the it is done, it is finished.
yeah, and that's a really great practice when you are like spring cleaning and going through different things and you're cleaning out. I mean, this is a time when you're walking around and you're saying, all right, where in my life am I dimmed? Where are the things in my house not working for me? What truths are not serving me any longer? What ideas do I need to let go? Just like the stuff in my home that I'm letting go of. As I'm clearing out the dust and the spider webs, I'm also able to process some of the ways in my life where maybe I need to live louder, and maybe some in the ways in my life where I need to have more grace or more self-compassion for myself, especially if you are working through survival, non-survival, or through the burnout cycle.
Mhm.
It's really important to be kind of coming back to these aspects of understanding that when these energies are heavier, it's good to be more gentle with ourselves and to really allow our bodies and our minds to process. So, what are some ways that we can process these energies?
Oh, I absolutely think that taking a detox from social media and constant information into your brain. That's like step one. Even
Hmm.
it's really hard to do and it can be jarring, but do it for maybe one day, a couple hours. If you're used to scrolling all day, or you're on your screen all day, or you're watching TV all day, or you're listening to a podcast or a book or whatever, 2 hours. Get out in nature and ground. If you can't get out in nature, just sit quietly in your home and just have a peaceful moment where you're just being quiet. I really think that that type of um, allowing yourself to do that and taking those steps, especially during this time, will allow you to reset your nervous system quicker. We
Hmm.
have practices we use to reset our nervous system, like somatic breath work and somatic movement. And I like to use those too. What
Yeah.
about you? What do you do?
Yeah, I think it's really important to just ask yourself if you're taking deep breaths, are you breathing,
Oh,
And
that's a good one.
um,
We
like
forget to
even if it's
breathe.
just three deep breaths, like am I breathing?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. I forget to breathe. And I'll say that, wow, I totally haven't taken a breath. And they'll like, okay, let's not do that. Let's not hold our breath and be tense.
yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
I love the idea of sacred rage because I love the idea of being able to let it out in a space that's safe for me.
Hmm.
If I live on a forest, so I can go out into my forest and just scream if I want to. But it's a gentle reminder of how I can reset myself and then be able to come back in and continue homeschooling my kids and continue working with my job and continue being my wife and continue cooking dinner and that allows me to be able to process emotions sometimes that maybe I would have otherwise processed in the home in a way of yelling or being upset about something.
Yeah, totally agree. Find a positive way to process your emotions. If you're a writer, journal. If you are a witch, practice, do some release magic. If
Hmm.
you're a healer, do self-healing. Just whatever your go-to is to help someone else, generally in your healing modalities, you just do that for yourself. Like that's what I do. So if I'm for me, also, I will do a clearing. I do clearings for people because that's the first thing I do. If I meet someone who needs help, I'll do a clearing on them because the first thing I want to do is clear out anything that doesn't belong to them. Well, I do that with me. That's what I do first. So just find your tool that you use the most for others that works for them and use it on yourself.
Yeah. Well, and just
Mhm.
know that this moon that's coming up with April, I mean, it's going to come with a deep rage. It's going to come with everything you've been carrying. It's going to come with um, feeling like everything is too much or you're not enough. It's going to feel like need to reclaim everything in your life. And um, it's a good time to not act. It's a good time to observe, to really start understanding where maybe you are holding too much of invisible labor, or maybe where you're holding too much of the emotional weight, or where the expectation from others does not have proper boundaries. Where is your inner perfectionist coming in and saying that something isn't perfect, that maybe you can let go, that maybe doesn't need to be perfect? If you feel like you need some support with full moon, we do have a full moon calendar. So that's always on our website and a part of our newsletter. We send out information on the new moon and full moon. We've also got some great ways to be able to support yourself if you are finding that you are living in survival all the time and you're really exhausted and you don't know that you have time for yourself. We have our Path to Priestess that opens every season, and this season in May is when our new Path to Priestess will be opening. And it really is an opportunity for women to be able to spend time on themselves. It's a 13-month sacred certification journey, and you walk through the fire. You're going to come out whole. You're going to carry the sacred arcs back through all of this experience with you.
Mhm.
It's an opportunity for you to just give back to yourself, for you to really feel held by a group of women and to be able to experience the divine healing arts and the sacred arts in a safe way, in a way that will carry with it sisterhood and healing. And so, if sounds like something that you'd like to do, or you're interested in learning more about the different modalities that Jamie and I certify in our academy, please check our website information below. We have lots of information there for you about Path to Priestess that starts in May, and we would love to have you come along.
Absolutely. And so I did a quick tarot pull. And I also just want to backtrack one bit. Let's consider each month a ritual or some kind of magic that we want to bring to our life this month. So for April, I would suggest during the new moon, releasing the old. So anything, any parts of you that you are so ready to just release, do a release ceremony over. You can create your own, or you can write it out and burn it. You can, there's so many ways to do it. So
Hmm.
a release ceremony on that new moon. And then maybe on the full moon, stepping into who you truly want to be this year. So, what does that look like? So, spending time seeing her and then seeing her maybe in a picture frame as if you're looking at a picture of you in your future, of who you want to be. And then have that picture just come to life. And then when you're ready, step into that picture as if you were her. And what does it look like? What does it smell like? And just really living it. And that's just a visualization technique that you can do to start moving your whole being onto the timeline that you want for this year. Those are two things that I think that would be very beneficial.
Yeah, seeing it, feeling it, really stepping
Mhm.
into it
Yeah.
and living in it is great.
Yeah.
And then Jamie is going to do a tarot card pulling for the month of April. So tell us a little bit about some of the energies that are coming through.
Okay, so I pulled the 10 of Wands. This is, I'm going to show you the picture. I'm hoping it comes through. So he's holding his wands and he's toiling in the field and he's carrying his wands. And so the Ten of Wands is sometimes that feeling of we have taken on too much, that we're overburdened, that we have too much responsibility, and that we need to find balance. So that's definitely what we're dealing with this month. That's
Hmm.
those pieces are going to be the uncomfortable pieces because we know we can no longer live like the Ten of Wands. We're done. We have to make change or the change is going to be made for us, basically. So then the next card I pull, which I really love this card, and we have a whole tarot class that we teach. So if you ever have a desire to learn and go deeper with the tarot, we have a what's called Tarot Tuesday and a tarot class that we have in our Lunar Alchemy membership, which you will have all the tarot cards available for you to weekly learn about. But the next one is the Empress card, and the Empress is fertile. She's sitting on her throne. Do you have this card available? It's hard to see on my computer.
Yeah, but we're a
Um,
podcast, so don't worry about it.
Oh, that's true. She's sitting on this throne and she's sitting in her fertile fields with her staff to heaven and her beautiful robe, and she looks pregnant and she's just fertile. And she's in the space of comfort and collected and knowing that God or the universe is fully supporting her creations and manifestations on this planet. And so trusting God, that's that piece that if you have any, if you're going through a tough time and things are going to feel kind of shaky for you right now, or they have been, or this month might bring up some stuff, if you can turn to God or to the universe or however you connect with source energy and remember that it's all meant to be, it's going to happen anyways.
Hmm.
You can't stop it. So at least you have some balance knowing that God and source energy is there to help you along the way. And then the other card that I pulled was the King of Pentacles. And this represents financial security. Okay, once again, he's on his throne. He's got his money. He's got abundance around him. He is showing that you can be connected to earth and you can be connected to the divine and you can have money and financial stability and abundance and groundedness. And so that's like where we're headed
Hmm.
through the fire berries, through the eclipse energy, channeling that to help us catalyze some of the shit that we want to manifest and change in ourselves and create something new. And then he is that piece stepping into the knowing that I'm abundant in all things.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
universe has my back.
that Ten of Wands is really bringing us to that woman who's carrying like too much, and the
Yeah.
Empress is bringing us to the woman who receives like the grace of the nurturing and embodiment of all that she's worked for. And what did you say the third one was? The King of Pentacles?
That's the King of Pentacles, all about abundance and having it flow and knowing that he is very grounded.
Hmm.
His feet are firmly on the earth. He has stability, security. He's in charge of every of his kingdom, and he has enough abundance that overflows from his cup to share with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he brings a lot of that stability. I like that there was the Empress there and then the King after. And
Oh
so
yeah.
first it was just this embodiment of, it almost brings me to the story of like the idea when we're sitting in it and we're living in survival and we're living in this piece of awakening and understanding that things around us are not working in the way that we need them to. And
Mhm.
so we have to start to determine what rhythms in our life are working for us and what rhythms in our life are not working for us, and then start
Right.
to take action for change in the ones that are not working for us. And sometimes that might mean asking for help. Sometimes that might mean having a short-term vision and a long-term vision. Sometimes that might mean really understanding that you cannot carry all of the management in your home. You're not meant to be like the only one holding all of that. Um,
That's what projectors and reflectors are for. Go ahead. Hmm.
it's about stability. It's about
Mhm.
understanding that we as women don't have to do it alone,
Right.
that we're not alone. It doesn't matter what our physical realm
Status
might feel
is.
like
Our status is.
sometimes,
Yes.
and that abundance is tangible and it's tangible for all of us. And it doesn't have to be created in the ways that we think it needs to be created.
Right.
We are moving into an energy that is clearing out, and it is about having inner security and trust in like your abilities. And sometimes that also means trust in your faith. Like if you don't have faith that it's going to work out, if you're always speaking negatively or speaking over yourself in a way that is not conducive to what you're calling in, it's that
Supportive
idea
of
that
it.
Jamie always
Right.
says, going back to gratitude. What, Jamie?
It's not, if it's not supported to what you're manifesting, creating, then you're anti-creating. You're saying, speaking one thing, but you're doing another.
Right. So
Hmm.
if it feels like too much, it's better
Out
to
of line.
stop and give yourself rest and time than it
That's
is to kind of keep going and keep trying to push through.
right.
And if you're noticing that around a certain situation, there is a lot of negativity or a lot of thought
Fear.
process that isn't supportive or conducive to what you're calling in, then ways that you can take action are by simply changing the way that you are speaking and calling things into existence.
100%. And watch your thoughts too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I think it's important to understand that yes, we can observe our thoughts. Yes, we can observe the things we say. Yes, we can be unfiltered, but we also need to have an inner security and understanding that we are creating with every thought. We are creating with every emotion. We are creating with everything that we say. And so, this energy of Aries is really saying what isn't working, rest with it. And then, as the full moon comes, it's really like clearing out and bringing in this newness and this ability to access balance in our lives that
Yes.
I think we're all craving.
And that Scorpio moon will illuminate those things that you need to release, integrate, accept, move on from, take the lessons and learnings from, and bless it, even if it's painful, bless those lessons and learning. And then step into that person that you want to be. Every day we have a choice to step into what we have created in this moment, this life we have right now,
Mhm.
which we fully step into every day, or we can step into the life we've created now with the knowing that we are the person that we are becoming as well. And that pulls that future to us. It shifts our timeline. It helps us to catalyze the old. And it reminds us that we need to take steps and thoughts and actions, and they have to be in alignment with one another in order to manifest. And it seems
Mhm.
like a lot, but Aries energy will help you do that without you even having to really think about it. It's just going to, bam, here you go.
Well, and I think the tarot cards are also representing that. They're representing this aspect of like not chasing,
Yeah.
not reacting,
Uh-huh.
but that you are just you're safe and you're
Yeah.
responding, and that
Yes.
it's all okay, and that you're
Mm.
where you're supposed to be. But there is this aspect of balancing, and then when we don't have balance in our life, then we're going to call in more of that balance.
Mm.
So, do you have anything else to add for April? I think we
Mm-mm.
talked a little bit about one of the things that we really like to do around this time, which was with a red candle.
Oh, yes. We could talk about that a little bit. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so let's talk a little bit about that. Go ahead.
Okay, so definitely red being the passion, red representing fire on its own too, and
Hmm.
red being a very powerful color for catalyst for change. So think of
Yeah.
change. So even in love, like they say red is like a powerful color for love because it represents love, but everything we do should be done in love. So red is a
Hmm.
very good way of doing magic or doing any kind of ritual work and encasing something in love.
I love that.
Yeah. And so we like to do fire magic during like these fiery months, especially. And this is a
Hmm.
good one. So what you need for this ritual would be a red candle, and I have one. This one I have, it's like beeswax, and you can roll it up. I made it. But you can have any red candle, and you can write on a piece of paper whatever it is you're ready for or ready to release. So I like to think that magic in the fire realm can be used to burn away, but it also can be used for calling in. So don't feel like it's only to release. It's not.
Hmm.
Um because it's a catalyst. So you got to catalyze things to make something new. It's science, really.
I think you have to
It's,
determine, are you calling in or are you releasing? Like, are you
uh-huh,
needing to release to call in? If you're needing to release to call in, use that red candle to release and write some
or do
release
both.
stuff over it, burn it up. If you're
Yeah,
calling in,
I do.
then because you've already released, you already feel like you've had a good release of those kinds of things, and you're ready to call in that growth and that new creativity, then you're going to write on that candle and call those things in. Yeah, I love the fact that we use them for both. I mean, they're both
And
very
I
powerful.
actually personally, I'll take my piece of paper and on one side I'll write all the things I need to release in order to write on the other side all the things I want to create. So if
Yeah.
I have to release a job to go to another state, then I'm going to put it
Hmm.
on both because this is like a full circle magic.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm doing the full thing. So you can do it any way you want. And you could write down emotional things, such pieces of yourself that you're just ready to let go of, or maybe you just want to do one touch, like for instance, I've had a lot of things that are kind of scary to me come up in this month so far, but they're just my ego telling me, hey, I'm scared, change is coming. Um, and I recognize that as my ego and not my soul saying that whatever's coming is scary because my soul is not afraid.
Hmm.
But I want to kind of release it. I want to settle that piece of my ego, that little mind. I want to settle it down. And so what I would do is write all those fears on the piece of paper. And then I would burn it. So you could burn it, you could write it on the candle if you have like a glass candle or even a regular candle, you could carve it in. Or you could just write it on a piece of paper and burn it. Just make sure you do it safely and sit with your candle. Don't leave it unattended because that's dangerous. So don't do that. And then you could put an affirmation with it. I am the flame. I am the phoenix. I change. I grow. I rise. Whatever it is. Or I release and I am now, and I always like to end things with, I like to call in my angels, guides, guardians, and angels to my magic.
Hmm.
Always start with that. And I like to end it with, it is done, it is finished, so be it. Amen. Whatever your words would be, but close it down when you're done. And then, Stacey, how do you dispose of it? Because I just throw mine away because I don't necessarily always have a place for my magic when it's done.
Yeah, I say the magic's done. Usually, if I have like a bowl or something like that, I'll bury it. I
Yeah,
have a place in
share
my
it.
forest that I bury things. I've always kind of had a space in my yard where I bury certain things and just know that maybe there's not going to be plants there because I'll put salts and all kinds of different things there. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, remember that, we're 6 months from October. So this is really that more like fiery, ancestral, sacred shadow, like what's really
Yeah.
going on here so that
Mhm.
we can by October not be in that energy anymore. By October, we can be lighting that up and be leading that life that we want to live. So you can use this as a catalyst to be able to, you know, really burn in
Start it.
or burn away the things that are not supporting you. So the chi of the month for April is, the wood element. So it's really from an energetic perspective, bringing growth and creativity and expansion. We're still in the year of the snake. So breathing a lot, coming home into your body, that fiery energy with that snake energy right now. I mean, it's really great for passion, purpose, for making sure that your heart fueled. That you're doing things that your heart are filled up with. And if you're not doing things that are filling up your heart, that are passionate and purpose about, then you're not going to feel expanded. You're going to feel exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to feel like you're stretching towards the sun. You're going to feel like you're sleepy and exhausted. Now, that doesn't necessarily always mean like for me, I'm sleepy and exhausted because my body is catching up to, the timeline that I've created. And so sometimes there's that energetic pull of feeling and creating. That we're constantly in balance with. Wood cheese pushing outward and growing, it's stretching, it's blooming. The fire cheese always rising, so it's like lighting the path for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we're dealing with fire energy too, we have to understand that like creating the space for it is important. Like I just moved to a forest and we're on a lake, and one of the things that my dad wants to do when he gets close here is he's like, I can't wait to just make a path down to that water. It's that aspect of like lighting the path, of understanding that we're creating energy to move to, it's okay to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and burned out. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, and burned out, then that's telling you you need to create space for energy to move, because that isn't how you're supposed to feel on a day-to-day basis. That's not how motherhood's supposed to feel. Now, I'm not saying that motherhood isn't exhausting, frustrating, and burning out, but it's not supposed to feel like that every single day of every moment
And
of
I
your
feel
life.
like I have a practice that I haven't shared before that might be helpful for anyone who's feeling burnout on a daily basis or wakes up and it's like, oh, that feeling. Uh, you wake up, you fill a cup with water, and you pour all that negative energy and all those yucky feelings into that water. Because I know this is a fire energy month, but this is what I would do. And you pour it in and you just allow it to flow out of you and really use your intention with this cup of water. And you just empty your cup. You empty the yucky feelings out of your vessel and into this cup.
Mhm.
And then you dump it down the toilet or the sink or outside. Do not put it in your garden because you don't want to, put poison your garden with that energy. But daily, even sometimes twice a day if you really need to, if you need to empty your cup before you go to bed so you can have a quality sleep, take a minute to, sometimes it's hard to bring in the good stuff. It's hard to
Mhm.
think our way and feel our way to the good stuff when we're constantly feeling the bad stuff, the fear, the exhaustion, the resentment, whatever it is. So sometimes it's just easier to release it, release that. And it's so quick and easy to just put it in a cup of water, pour it out.
Mhm.
So that is my recommendation to anyone who's feeling burnout and doesn't have a lot of energy or time, but needs a quick technique to help empty their vessel so they can feel better.
I love that.
Okay.
Um, Another great way to bring energy to the home would be plants, crystals. If you want to like put a crystal at your door, put a crystal at any, space that feels a little bit stuck. You can put a live plant in any place that feels stuck. You can also bring in different colors. If you are calling in a job, then you can be calling in some of like red into your house, bringing in some red candles or red pillows, things like that.
Smart.
Blowing cinnamon into your door on the first.
Mhm.
It's also really great to have quartz all around. You can think about like I have a smoky quartz that I keep in a place where there tends to be friction in my house. And so then I'll clear it every full moon. But I always keep it there in that area to help with the friction in the house. You can even take something like a bowl of just basic salt and put it in certain places in your house and then just replace that, like keep it out for a few days and just let it kind of like clear the energy and ground some of that energy in your home. It's really good to do when you are feeling stagnant. And as we move into April, we're calling on 420. We've got Easter coming, so it's got this resurrection energy, this new life, this idea of like light after darkness. We're still in the darkness right now. We're still moving into this like physical aspect of um, what it takes to rebirth. It's agony, it's frustrating, it's fearful. There's a lot of that coming something's coming, but I don't know what's coming, but I can feel the pain and the physical of it. And so, we live in a world where there is a lot of different religion around us. There is a lot of people who are currently going through their 40 days of fasting, and people who are currently really like experiencing that aspect of the suffering and the pain that is coming with this rebirth of Easter. And so, it's an opportunity for you to look into your life, open a window, and see what is working for you and what you want to allow to bloom this spring. One of the last practices that I would mention is just a fun spring practice, and that is just simply opening a window, lighting a candle, and saying, I allow myself to bloom again. You can place a flower or a seed or a painted egg on the altar. Those are always great to just bring in, and, allowing yourself to bloom again is important. I think sometimes as new moms, we don't realize that motherhood is hard and it is exhausting. And there is this aspect of losing ourselves. And we do have to give ourselves self-compassion and grace, um, and the okay to bloom again. It's okay to change. It's okay to um, see the things that aren't working and want better. It's okay to
And
look at the
pivot.
garden bed and
Yeah.
say, this worked and that didn't.
That's right. And that goes with any season of life, whether you're a business owner or you're an employee or a single person who doesn't have anybody with their fur babies. It's seasons of life.
Yeah.
And this is just one of them. And this is the energies of the season. And so these are the tips we give you to use the energies of the season so you can get the best and most out of it and have the most transformation for this year and a good start of the new year.
I love it. Well, I think that that's a lot that we've reviewed for April energy. So I want everyone to just take a deep breath. Seriously, I want you to just inhale. We just went through the Aries fire, sacred rage. We've just talked a lot about the Scorpio shadow work that's going to be coming and how to flow energy in and out of our homes and within our spirits. So if you're still here with us and you're listening from your kitchen, your minivan, or your bathtub, I just want to say thank you so much for showing up for this, for showing up for yourself, for believing that your spiritual path can look like compost, candles, story time, and spell work, mess, and miracles all at once. So you're not too busy, too behind, or too broken to bloom.
And you showing up is the ripple, and you are the spell. You are the magic. We believe in your inner magic.
So until next time, witches, stay wild, stay sacred, stay soft and strong. We believe in your inner magic, even on the hard days.